In a world of tasing, hiding, and more tasing, what's a guy gotta do? Close Call is a 2D city side-scroller where you are a relentless bounty hunter chasing down your skipper for the bondsman. The goal is to catch your bounty before they skip town. The player can follow their bounty to catch them, hide in the urban environment for stealth, and use the 3-use QuickTime Taser for non-lethal takedowns to catch the skipper. If you get too close to the skipper, you'll set off the suspicion gauge. Each gauge is more troublesome than the last. At level 1, the target will turn around and see you and be more alert. It will be harder to get close. At level 2, the target will move faster, making it more difficult for you to catch up or close the distance. And at gauge 3, the skipper will be aware of you, panic, and start running, causing you to chase them. But what can you really do in gameplay? Well, the game begins with the player receiving their bounty. Then they'll start to follow their skipper. But let's say you get too close and fail to catch them right away, setting off the first gauge. The player can hide behind the nearest thing for 5 seconds, such as a trash can, which gives them cover, but it also puts distance between them and the skipper. That's not the only anti-force here. It's also the civilians that walk past you. Once that 5 seconds are up, and some civilian catches you jumping from that hiding spot, they'll want answers, and they'll talk to you for 5 seconds, which is time you don't want to waste on them. So the player has a choice to either listen to them until the time runs out, or shut them up by using the QuickTime Taser. If the player chooses to use the taser, it will count down to how many uses you have left. It's 3, by the way. The stealth portions are similar to the game Final Ninja, whereas the player is a retired master ninja that can blend into the surrounding environments to avoid enemies and the likes. Now, let's say the gauge is up to 3. The skipper panics and the player has to chase them down. If they get out of town, you lose. If you manage to catch up with them, you can use the QuickTime Taser if you still have any to use. If not, the only way to subdue the skipper is to punch them. When this is the only option, 3 random keys will pop up on the screen, and the player will need to press them within a certain time limit, or they'll be knocked out and lose the skipper and the game. Whereas the QuickTime button is similar to the moves on Injustice Gods Among Us, but only on the app version can players tap the screen button to increase the damage or effects of the move they activated. Any design or development risks lie within the hiding and civilian notice. To mitigate the hiding mechanic, it could be simply have it so when the player is near this game object, presses a button, temporarily turns off the mesh render of the player. And as for the civilians, it may be something as simple as nav meshes to fix the issue. In a world of tasing, hiding, and more tasing, what's a guy gotta do? Exactly that, but it has to be a close call. My name is Lyndon Jones, and thank you for listening.